All right, guys, we're kicking things off in our second cast of the night. We got ourselves CGL White facing off against Reborn Knights Black. So, this is a Division B game. Hope you're all ready. As well, each division should be a little bit more skill, and so should be a little more fast and a little more furious each of these games. As well, that's what you'd expect as the skill level increases. Fast, furious rotations, decision making, and team fights. And Excel Esports was anything to go by based on like how well the combos were working for him. I'd expect some pretty nice, team plays and some drafts out of CGL White and Reborn Knights Black. So let's jump on into the draft as things are going pretty fast and furious over there. So we have the Genji and your Relban. So your Relban always strong way to start things off, with Garage following things up. I was amazed by how much Garage was still played, where basically he kind of came back again, if you will. Like if you took a look at Garage, he was insanely popular and he had perfectly balanced win rate, 50% win rate. So people are finding, I guess, Jaina is not good enough to counter him, or people are finding that Jaina is not good, and so please don't actually, or they rather not take Jaina to try and counter Garage, so rather just ban him out. And the Phoenix ban, Phoenix is definitely a nice ban. Rhaegar Muradin in the first rotation. I do want to point out that this map is the choice of Reborn Knights Black. Reborn Knights Black have chosen a very untraditional map, Sky Temple. I'd almost say Sky Temple has fallen out of favor of any competitive play. You see it every once in a blue moon. And they must have a very well developed strategy for this map, especially with the Rhaegar pickup so promptly. Now we got the Dahaka for that global and Alex Straza to come on in, but I think Deckard Cain is still the better support. So honestly, I would have let them opt to potentially pick up Deckard. Sorry, I would have either picked or banned. In this case, they should be banning Deckard Cain 100% in my opinion. They could have taken Deckard Cain or just waited later on their support. I don't think they were going to take Alex Straza here. Now the Raynor pickup with Alex Straza, though, good combo for keeping slows, but Deckard Cain is easy slows and easy routes and a lot more playmaking capabilities in my opinion. So I'm actually surprised they didn't go with that. Very interesting choice here. Malthael and Falstad. So they're getting the Falstad. The Falstad will be in either top or bottom, with Malthael in, well, whatever other lane. Technically, Falstad doesn't need to be in the lane with the Haka since he could always fly and match the soak elsewhere. Odds are Falstad should be bottom so that he can fly to mid, and Malthael should be top, and then you have yourself a 3-man rotation in the mid where they can rotate Rhaegar up and down and have the rest holding, or even Muradin coming on up to get some ganks. Now, Hanzo and Johanna here. Hanzo is falling out of favor as well. I like the Johanna. There's more slows. The Hanzo is okay. I don't think he's that great on this map. There is a boss in play. This isn't one of his stronger maps, I feel. And if you go by how Hanzo did, he had a 37% win rate at the Western Clash. That is actually the worst of all the popular assassins. If you go by tier 1, 2, and 3, he fell in tier 3 for starters, and he had the worst win rate of tier 3 assassins. He actually had almost the worst win rate of any assassin played in the tournament at all, aside from Gul'dan, who had a 0% win rate, and Illidan with a 0% win rate, and Jaina with only a 33% win rate. At the same time, I don't know how I feel about the Malthael, a Tracer, and a Falstad. I feel like they're barking up the wrong tree here with the Tracer, because Tracer is not going to kill Raynor, most likely. She's not killing Johanna or Dahaka, and she's fighting into a blind. On the other side, Meltdale is not very strong in my opinion. Meltdale is what I'd consider one of the weaker people you can pick up. And overall, it makes the comp feel very weak. They have a single frontliner, no double frontline, and so they'll just be able to Pokemon down and destroy their frontline, which is the Murden. So jumping into the game, we got Fabre on the Raynor, we got Breitz on the Johanna, Triple C4 on Alexstrasza, Soul Man on Hanzo, and finally Pone on the Dahaka, and that is going to be CGL White. On the other side, we have Dolch on Can't Even See the Hero Tracer, Richie B on the Rhaegar, GG Pokecheck on the Muradin, got Crafty Devil on the Malthael, and finally the Pie Maker on the Falstad. And that is going to be Reborn Knights Black. So, taking a look at some of the towns, we got the Seasoned Marksman, we got the Pulse Strike, the Wolf Run, Third Wind, and finally on a Pale Horse. This will give them a lot of macro control on the side of Reborn Knights with on the Pale Horse. They have a global, they have on the Pale Horse, and they are rotating down as 4 coming on down. Dahaka is actually going to burrow on up to meet with Crafty Devil and catch the Soak, and the rest of the 4-man in CGL White will just rotate down to deal with the lanes. I like the rotation. It's very good communication that shows on the side of CGL White, and I like the strategy that Reborn Knights have clearly developed for this map and are just very on point as a team in terms of what they want to accomplish. Already working as a 3-man to get down the siege camp and start getting pressure on the bot lane. Now, we are going to have the Live and Let Live. We have the Simple Geometry as expected and Enhanced Agility. So that is a little out of Triple C4 is getting collapsed on. Very nicely done by Reborn Knights Black as they blow up the thick booty of Alexstrasza. Now they're getting themselves a second siege camp. This both denies and takes away the resources of a hero on the map. So this is a really, really nice rotation and really big play out of Reborn Knights Black. So they won't be able to do too much here on the side of CGL White. There's 3 people here. They have Rhaegar, who can heal, and additionally what a lot of people fail to think about is he can also heal the minion wave, which makes your actual defense that much slower. And Rhaegar and crew will rotate up to get the night camp. So their macro pressure on this game is out of control so far. On the other side, we are going to have Pone and Triple C4 and working on their night camp, and Crafty Devil spotting this out, but he really won't be able to do anything anyways as no one's there to rotate up to help him. So night camp will be picked up. Bot lane has been cleared up, and Reborn Knights having themselves a nice little lead. So we have Falstad in the top lane and not in the bot lane where I'd like to see him, which means he can't continue pressuring the bot lane and then just fly up. And we do have Dahaka coming on down. He should have his burrow available. And we're actually going to have CGL White holding on to the midpoint to keep that vision. And they're not just going to let this night camp go without a fight. So they're getting in there, getting into the thick of things, trying to get it on down. So we have a 3v3 right now while Muradin sits on top and gets some of those shots. In the meantime, we got Triple C4 soaking up those shots as well, which actually puts them at a very big disadvantage on the side of CGL White because they're fighting without any form of support. So it might be a 3v3, but it's kind of like a 4v3 in my opinion without that support there. So Triple C4 is not in the right place that he needs to be, but Richie B needs to back off because he's getting poked on down, getting filled full of daylight, but Tracer and Kind has a little salt to deal out to both Fabre and to Hanzo, and that is going to be a 2-0 in favor of Reborn Knights Black. So they're getting themselves quite the lead. We have towers down. They are going to be able to push in and take the fort. We have the mid lane. Oh, Johanna popping the Iron Skin, and not going to be anything to worry about though right now. And they are back on the point, getting those last shots in the meantime. Taka trying to get as much value as he can, but Malthael will be rotating down as well. One other thing, like I was trying to point out, is that Enhanced Agility was the pick here, which is not the go-to anymore, I'd say. And with that, Dahaka will burrow up and into the bush. Unfortunately, he does not burrow behind Dolce, which may have been able to secure them a kill. Possibly, it would have been close, because he would have needed the perfect grab with the follow-up condemn and a nice blow up. So Knights getting a lot of map pressure in terms of structure advantage. They're once again working on the siege camps, and well, they're a full level ahead, 2 levels ahead, numerically a level and a half in XP. In the meantime, Siege will be picked up by the crew of CGL White, and so finally picking up that bottom siege to relieve some pressure. Pone, on the other hand, taking a lot of damage, will get the burrow. Fabre coming on in, trying to fill him full of daylight. We'll be able to force him on back in the meantime as Breach drops the flashlight to keep things in check. So Falstad, this is a really good play. Falstad keeping the pressure on top. He just now goes, rotates on bottom, and they fight 10 versus 8 and with a 5v4 advantage, because they cannot sit on the bot lane and actually fight for this on the side of CGL White. Soon they shall bask in mine. So even more stacks coming out for Falstad. He is sitting at 17 stacks. We got 4 on the Stormbolt, 3 on the Enhanced Agility, 7 on the Behemoth armor, and everything else is looking good. And so tents have been picked up, nothing out of the ordinary here. We have a Last Rites, the Mighty Gust, the Quantum Spike, Ancestral Healing, and finally the Avatar. And as I said, they cannot fight for this on the side of CGL White. So what they should be doing is leaving enough to defend, because you don't want Reborn Knights to just push this for free. At the same time, you want to be soaking every lane as best as you can, which is exactly what they're doing. They have Fabre in the top lane. Crafty Devil going to have to try and hold this, but he can't go too aggressive here, as the combination of Pone and Fabre will be enough to kill him if they are able to get a grab and potentially all that damage. As you can see, Crafty Devil already chunked down roughly 40% from the combination of the pull into Fabre's auto attack damage and penetrating round. So bottom fort down, good rotation from Breach, C4, and Soulman to match Reborn Knights, and this is still a relatively uneventful game in terms of kills. Now that's largely because Reborn Knights are just doing such a good job getting the macro pressure, which has resulted in 3 kills, only 3 kills, and they're up 2 levels. That's kind of crazy when you think about it. 3 kills for 2 levels, that is very, very good. That means your opponent is not being able to compensate for those kills, and you're just getting a ton of structures. As you can see, front wall down, front wall and keep down, front wall and keep down. So there's a lot of structures they've taken. CGL White, if they can start getting structures, will be back in this game. Or if they can get themselves a gank, because there's a lot of XP to be found. Dolce looking for the poke, but as there are 4 members there, is thinking that's not such a good idea. And I agree, that's not where you want to be going as a tracer into that 4v1 scenario. Fabre coming on in. They do have vision, and they're actually going to fight for this. They have Dahaka ready to go. Dahaka coming on in from the backside. Dolce is going to be able to queue on out of there with the blanks, and they have picked up those Siege Giants in tow, getting a little bit of revenge here, but they are down in talent. The Blessed Chill coming on out, and not quite sure why. There was no way to catch him, and they blow a lot just to get that siege camp. In the meantime, Malthael has been pressuring the top lane. The macro pressure from the two between Pi and the Pie Maker has just been absolutely insane. Dolce making it out of there, and Ancestral Healing will be used to top her off. Not really needed, honestly. I'd actually say that it was a bad use of the Ancestral Healing, because Dolce should have been able to tap. We're going to actually see if she had tap available. I believe that is... Yep, there we go. Tracer should have had tap available, which means that she could have gone tapped, been full life basically, and come back in, and Ancestral would have been available. At this point, though, they're just playing the trading game, which technically they can't be playing because they're 2 levels down. And they'll be hitting 13, and 15 is going to be around the corner for Reborn Knights Black. And you definitely do not want to be in a situation of 14 versus 16. That it's arguably better to fight 12 versus 14 than 14 versus 16. They're still in this, though. They're still making sure to keep the keeps alive, which is the name of the game. The keeps keep you in the game, and without keeps, well, there's nothing to keep the enemy team from going to the core and the catapult pressure that mounts. Now, with the Malthael being able to get so much move speed, Breeze coming on in, gets the condemned. They should hopefully not invest too much. Oh my god, the Dragon Arrow has been burnt. Trying to get poke check out. Even the isolation has been used. And the cleanse coming on out, and Muradin will walk away. CGL White is throwing out these heroics like it's candy. So, you don't take candies from strangers, and clearly Reborn Knights does not trust the candy of CGL White. At this point, doing the boss, this is absolutely madman level, because you have nothing to use. They have Gust, and your only tool would be Johanna hitting the Iron Skin in time. And you're not actually going to really force much of anything. Pochek coming on in, leaping on into a bad position, and will not be able to land a Stormbolt there. There is the hop on over by Pokecheck, and well, 16s are around the corner, and they're not getting much of anything. A big condemn into a big punish. There's a silence onto Malthael. The damage will not be focused, as the team is not there to drop pretty much any of it. And Ancestral Healing in tow keeps that Crafty Devil looking fine and dandy. So, in the meantime,
my magic flows through the temples. Guardians, do not let
we have some siege camps coming on through, once again being picked up, but they're going to be cleared out really. Richie be very far forward, get hit by the dragon. Now the Gust comes in, saving the day, and with that Wolf Run extra speed, Richie B will be in the clear. So with that, they're trying to do the boss again. Heroics are available, Iron Skin is available, and no Gust. There comes the Hyperion. This is the time to make the play. There comes the isolation. There is everything being used by both teams. Richie B getting low. Fabric is super low. In the back, Dolce cleaning up on aisle 2. Triple C4 will be going down. CGL White making the crazy play, trying to claw their way back into the game, and have been absolutely obliterated. All right, let's get the replay back. So CGL White is burning through this. They take the opportunity post-Gust to try and do something, but you'll see Hyperion comes on down. In the backside, Dolce just nukes him down. There comes the Lifebinder in action. Soul Man taking so much damage, but it doesn't matter. Dolce running the train on top of him, and the keep will be going down all during that thanks to the boss. Jumping on back in. we have a boss getting just a few percentage on the core. I actually think Reborn Knights Black could have potentially ended that game there. You can see 84%. You're really, you don't need to do it, but I think they could have done it. And they closed out the game, could have closed out that game much earlier, because the 16 situation versus 19 is worse than a 14 versus 16 situation. And you don't want to give them that opportunity to come back into the game, because they can look for the fight, which they are right now. Even before 16, Pone looking for the grab, not going to get it. The Dragon Arrow will land, however, and Dolce will get unstoppable and recalled back on in the Gust, saving the day. In Central coming on out. Soul Man too far forward, but he leaps over that wall like Superman flying. And the poke check coming on in, hitting that avatar. The blind getting so much value, and poke check will be poked on down. And they are still looking for more, but Breeds and crew are super low. Lightbinder coming on out. Triple C4 is pretty low, and it will not be getting too much value out of that Lightbinder. Soul Man. All right, they get themselves one, and I'll have to call it done. Core is now at 40%. This is, like I said, they could have all ended and tried and end this game. And they have to deal with catapults. They have to be very careful. They do have a man advantage here. They have no tank. And this is where I was concerned. Single warrior, they just run them over. Core, though, is under attack. There's 3 catapults. They need to back. They need someone to back. They're actually going to get interrupted. Very nicely done by Crafty Devil. And this is potentially getting... Pone is still... What is Pone doing? He's still trying to hurt here? Oh my god. It's going to... He's got there. 29% of the core. 24%. They're going for the interrupt. Still falling. 18%. Another shot on the core. 15%. And they are going to be fighting now a 4v4. Dolce looking for the kill. Brutes coming on back in. A big condemn into Blessed Shield. Crafty Devil will be going down here. No, he gets the Q heal. Oh my god. He's still alive. They are still looking for it. Poke check coming on in. We'll be able to get this stun, but it's not going to matter. The heal's from Pone. He comes on back in with a clutch burrow. Dolce is looking to see if people are actually not going the right way. Triple C4. He's not. He didn't spot triple C4. He could have gotten that kill. Oh my! This is a moment when you go back to the replays and you're like, how did you not get this? And triple C4 could have totally been killed there. 15% on the core. There is the siege, which has helped alleviate the pressure, and they need a full 5-man this, because there's only one objective, and that hits the core. They need all 5 here. Dehaka needs to come top. They do have Blessed Shield available. Hyperion coming on out, zoning. Dehaka's there. He doesn't use the tongue, however, and he will be sitting in that bush in the meantime. So they can just simply backdoor this. I think they're doing that right now. Reborn Knights will take this game 100%, as there's literally no way for them to defend a 15% core. So Wave's been pushed up, but they literally have nothing they can do. And this is partially Pone's fault for where he tried to hurt back. And Reborn Knights will take game 1 with some insanely good macro play. Oh no! I am so sorry, guys. I thought I actually went back. And now you all have to watch mini view of mini views. It's PvP for ants. I'm sorry, guys. And taking a look at the stats, we got Fabre hitting 40k, Pie Maker 37 on Tracer. Malthael only hitting 23k, but he got insane macro pressure, 14k XP, Dahaka 13k XP. And in terms of oops, healing output, we had 65k from Triple C4, only 50k from Rhaegar. But to be fair, they had gotten so many kills and were ahead that, well, they weren't able to really deal with it. So tanking, Breed's doing a boatload of tank in there, and it was still not good enough. Unfortunately, they lost the macro game. Were down for the count overall, and couldn't claw their way back in later into it because of that XP disadvantage, or the XP advantage that Reborn Knight Black had. So we'll be going to game number 2, and unfortunately, you have that stream on repeat for 2 minutes, which is probably the most painful thing in the universe. So once again, I apologize. Unfortunately, the rules, and I have to